Douglas Bloch. Welcome to your Depression Recovery channel, where each week we talk about practical tools and coping strategies for healing from depression and anxiety. Well, today is January 28th. Where did January go? It's just the new year last I checked. It's our regular live streaming at 12 o'clock Sundays and Wednesdays. It is supposed to be after some cold, nasty days, about 60 degrees in Portland this afternoon, which means after the live chat, I'm going to go on my regular bike ride, although I can't find my Garmin computer. If anybody there, is really good at doing such things and can help me find the computer, I'd really appreciate it. Just maybe send me some good energy and help me to find this thing. So we're still waiting for the first person to come on board. Maybe you're all having a good time being outside yourself. Not quite sure why, but at any rate, here we are. Oh, 9 people watching. Well, that didn't take very long, did it? All right. Well, welcome everyone. Sign in. Like to know who's here. That always helps, doesn't it? Well, we have OG. OG, thank you for your pledge. We had during the Wednesday live chat, we had actually 3 people pledging: OG, Scott Bauer, and Never Ever. We are now at 52 patrons, headed towards 60. Mark Calloway, nice to see you. Remember, I did get your comment on the Patreon page. Thank you very much. Do you think I can really get to 75? It's cold in Minnesota. Well, it should be. It's the winter there, don't you think? I did a workshop in Minnesota on February 25th, 1990. What is that, 28 years ago? And it was snowing and chilly. I'll never forget it. Casey Smith, I don't think I've seen you. Jacob Hamilton, haven't seen you before. Well, as you know, we welcome all of your questions about mental health recovery, your own and anybody else's. And Scott Blaze, I've heard you before. Hey, Doc, talk to a therapist who said if you're not born with depression. Okay, let me go ahead and move this thing. I got to read your whole question here. So let me just move. Okay, so what is Scott saying? Talk with a therapist who said if you're not born with depression, meds really won't work. If your depression is brought on by divorce, money issues, meds are not helpful. Well, I understand what he's getting at, Scott. He's saying that meds really work for biological depression, endogenous depression. But guess what? What he's not looking at is that, as I know from being in the psych hospital 4 times, a divorce can trigger changes in the neurochemistry of the brain that imitate how you would feel as if you were essentially born with depression. So I don't agree with him. I have a lot of people who are here in my support groups who have come through loss, death of parent, divorce, financial stress, loss of job, situational depression, yet they're still helped, or some of them are helped by medication. So I think anybody makes a categorical statement like this, nothing is always the case when you're talking about the brain. It's way too complicated. So does that answer your question? TechSuliJ47. Hey, Doug, what is the link between thyroid dysfunction and depression? Well, that's classic. Low thyroid will often create the symptoms of the depression. So anybody who has depression, the first thing you have to do is get your thyroid checked out. Get your TSH, your T3, and your T4. Go to your regular PCP, your internist, whomever, even your psychiatrist can order those tests. So there's a very well-known woman named Mary Ellen Copeland. She's written a lot of good workbooks on depression. Her website, mentalhealthrecovery.com, is really good. And she, in her book on depression, talks about how she was undiagnosed for years with low thyroid, and when she treated that, her depression got a lot better. So, yes. Mark C. says you can get to 100 eventually. He means Patreon. So look, guys, I did it last time. Anybody who becomes a Patreon supporter today gets a free book of mine. Just go to patreon.com and click Douglas Bloch Depression under the search. You'll come up to my page, and you can see for as little as $2 a month. Not very much, even less. What is that? That's a medium coffee at New Seasons here in Portland. For 1 coffee a month, you can become a contributor to this channel and help produce 2 live chats a week, and now I'm doing 2 videos a week. Okay, Scott says, in family history of it. Well, if you have family history, then, meds could work for you. Casey Smith, yes, my first watching a live video when I suffered with anxiety and derealization and depersonalization. Well, so many people, I wish I had direct experience with it. My good friend Noah Thomas, if you go to his channel, Big No No, BIGKNOWNO, he has videos on it, or just type it in YouTube. But I know it's a feeling of things being unreal, and one of my go-to psychiatrists says that if you treat the depression underlying depersonalization, the depersonalization will go away. So hopefully he's right. I'm not quite sure. Dave Pickell from Vancouver, British Columbia. I'm just reflecting on how authentic contact from fellow human beings reduces depression in me anyhow. Well, come on. Haven't you read my, okay, the 3 pillars of mental health recovery. Whoops, sorry. 1, set the intention to heal. 2, reach out for support. 3, treat your symptoms using a combination of mutually supportive therapies. In other words, without support, without human contact, or even contact with pets. I'm putting up an update on Tuesday about my cat, Bruce. You remember Bruce. Without that kind of contact with fellow mammals, especially, or any sentient being, even parrots. Some people have parrots as pets. Without connection, depression does not stand a good chance of getting better. So yes, not just for you, Dave Pickell. The audio is super quiet today. Yes, it is. I'm going to turn up. I was getting some distortion here. How's this, Dave? How's it now? It should be better. Give me feedback. I don't like it when the red light goes on in this box because it does get a little distorted, but now you can probably help me. You can probably hear me better, I'm sure. Albert Navarro, I just got divorced. We've been separated 5 months. I'm 25 in Minnesota. Something about, and she's in Texas with my daughter. I've never been depressed in my life. My mother passed when I was 18, and I feel worse. Well, you should go, Albert Navarro, you type in my channel, put in the #1 cause of depression, the word 1, and you will come up with my video that talks about separation from love, divorce, loss of love is the #1 cause of depression in my experience. So of course you're feeling crummy. Perfect, says Dave Pickell. Thank you for telling me about the sound. When do you record your videos? Tyler Dern says, well, once a month my videographers come over to my house. One of the reasons I have a Patreon page is so I can pay for this, and they do 3 videos, and then they send them to me one at a time, and every Monday I put one of them up. After 3 weeks I go back to the old drawing board, have to create 3 more scripts, and we do it all over again. So I record my videos once every 3 weeks, except every now and then if I get an inspiration, I'll use this computer which doesn't have the greatest camera. I'm going to get a new one and go to Final Cut Pro and do my own. So I would say 4 times a month, about once a week is when I record my videos. Much better now about the sound. Okay, Casey, thank you. I guess we have to have a little bit of distortion. Sorry it was low at the beginning. Coming off the human contact note, why do depressed people isolate themselves? I think it's because it's something about the illness. You know, when dogs and cats are wounded, they go off and hide somewhere. And when my cat was injured with an abscess, he hid in the garage. We almost didn't find him. He would have died. So maybe that's an instinct, you know, to go off alone, to let the wounding heal. Also, there's a lot of shame and depression. Why would anybody want to help me? I'm a loser, I'm weak. So maybe part of that is why people withdraw. But as you're intimating here, that withdrawal is counterproductive to healing from depression and just makes things worse. Albert Figueroa says, you're the best. Thank you. I don't think I've seen you here before. Yolanda Baldwin. Hey, good afternoon. Yes, we had this discussion a while ago about, you haven't been here in months. We talked about depression in minority groups like African Americans and Hispanics, and oftentimes there's a reluctance. Actually, I heard an interview with Jordan Peele, who's the director of an amazing film called Get Out, which is going to win a couple of Oscars, and he said in the African American community, people would rather go to church than see a therapist. They're sort of suspicious of therapy. So is that your experience, Yolanda? You mentioned that months ago. I remember that very clearly. Anyway, tell yourself, your friends, if they're feeling bad, if they feel like they have a mental health disorder, to reach out for support. It takes courage to get help and reach out. It's not a sign of weakness. Danielle Pate, one of my favorite fans who sends me videos of her daughter telling jokes. Speaking of which, we need a joke. I just made a short video for my love and support group about when I somehow overcame OCD. Danielle, can you send that up to me? That would be really good. I'd love to see that video. Text it to me. So last week, those of you who weren't here, I think it was 1JE24 told this joke. Why did the witch not wear... Why... Oh my God. Why did the witch not wear a flat hat? There was no point in it. Don't you love play on words? That's my first play on words. And of course, I always love this one. I wondered why the ball was getting bigger, and then it hit me. Okay, that's enough for right now. Any laughs? Reminding you in terms of contributing to this channel, there's a little super chat button down here. If you click on the $, you can make $1 or $2 contribution. I know that Arcade Cup always does, but he's not on the chat today. Maybe he's busy enjoying the Green Bay afternoon. He's probably freezing also. Oh gee, I just got tested for vitamin D deficiency. My levels were pretty low. We'll be taking vitamin supplement every day to improve my energy. Excellent. You should take at least 2,000 IUs a day, maybe even 4,000. Talk to your doctor. I wonder how low they were. Everybody who's watching this video and everybody who watches this video in the future should get their vitamin D levels checked because that is usually a major culprit of depression. Not usually, but can be. Patricia Makeda, hello, I can't reach my son. He's in deep depression. Well, when you say you can't reach him, you can't help him out, or he's somewhere that he doesn't have a phone. I think you mean the former. Well, why don't you give him my channel and, have him come to my YouTube channel right here and have him peruse the video, or go to Noah's channel, have him watch videos of people who he can identify with, maybe somebody younger than I am like Noah Thomas, and maybe that's one way to get through to him. How long has he been depressed? I'm a little bit concerned. I'm going to move my foot here. I'm a little bit, there, that's better. Don't feel so cramped now. I'm sorry about your son. How old is your son? It's important to get people help, and I'm sorry you're not being able to connect with him. He doesn't want to be helped. Well, if the first principle of healing from depression is setting the intention to heal. So if people don't reach out, if they don't want to get better, or if they don't make the decision to get better, then it's really hard to help them. In Alcoholics Anonymous, they say the only requirement to attending an AA meeting is the sincere desire to stop drinking. Without that, no progress occurs. So I'm really sorry to hear that about your son. Maybe if you're patient enough, he will decide he wants to reach out. Dave Bickel said, I'm dealing with my life is pointless today. It's a symptom, but it makes it difficult to move forward. Well, Dave Bickel, write down one thing that you think gives your life meaning, and then text, then put it here in the live chat. There's got to be something, even if it's just being around to help another sentient human being. Tyler Durden says, do you ever stop to realize, damn, I'm probably not going to be here much longer? Yes, exactly. 10 to 20 years left. I think about that all the time, Tyler, and not very pleased with it. My nephew's 27, my daughter's 27, my godson's 37. I would love to be that age again. Yes, 20 years. I'll be, I'm turning 69, so I'll be 89 years and 20 years. I might live that long. There's longevity in my family, but you're right. Probably 20 years at the outset. And boy, the last 20 years from 1998 to 2018 have gone really quickly. So nobody stops time. Death comes for us all, right? Well, you know what Mark Twain said, the only thing for sure is death and taxes. Tyler, how old are you? I have a feeling you're younger than I am, but I might be wrong. Okay, you have daughters, Dave Pickell? Come on, let's get real here. Of course you have your life is not pointless. You have your daughters. I mean, parenting is one of the most sacred things you can do. How old are they, I wonder, and what's your relationship with them? That would be nice to know. Tex Suja 47, what are your thoughts on medical marijuana for depression in my country, which is, oh, I didn't know Canada legalized cannabis. Well, first of all, CBD oil, which is not marijuana, which is an extract from the hemp plant, has helped many of my clients with anxiety. I have a friend who has arthritis. It's even helping her with arthritis. Then marijuana itself with THC, the psychoactive substance, helps some of my clients reduce anxiety. It helps some sleep. It helps, sleep and anxiety mostly. So yes, way younger. I was just asking you specifically. Well, Tyler, before you know it, you'll be my age. So make sure you do something you really love in life, because it's a shame to look at death's door and say, I didn't really, follow my passion. So what is your passion, Tyler? I'd like to know. Anyway, so yes, so to answer your question, the guy in Canada, yes, many of my clients have found help with marijuana, and like everything else, like marijuana, like Prozac, like Paxil, like Effexor, everybody is different. It's all about trial and error. So it's an herb from the ground. It's psychoactive, just like these drugs they manufacture in the laboratory. So I don't see why marijuana shouldn't help some people. Other people, it makes paranoid, not good. Other people, it makes depressed, not good. Other people, it triggers depersonalization, not good. So it depends on the individual. If you are going to try pot, make sure it's legal, and if so, start really slow. What do you think about St. John's wort? Jacob Hamilton says. Nice to hear from you, Jacob. Well, when I wrote my book, Healing from Depression, which I highly recommend you guys get, here is right here. 12 Weeks to a Better Mood. I have a lovely gal in my depression support group who's been with me about 1.5 years. And I always ask my depression clients to read that book, but few people do. And so she's working in a recovery clinic and wanted to show it to one of the patients. So she bought a book and she texted me yesterday, wow, she said, this is a really good book. I said, I told you to read it, 2 years ago. Anyway, in my book, Healing from Depression, I did a lot of research on St. John's wort in 2001. At that time, it was the #1 leading antidepressant in Germany. In America, they've done clinical trials. It's been mixed. Again, some people it works for, some people it doesn't. I don't see the harm in trying it, although you shouldn't do it until you talk to your doctor because it does interact adversely with some antidepressants. So, St. John's wort is helpful to some and not helpful to others. I wish I could get paid to travel. Tyler, why don't you become an airline attendant? Or learn how to fly a prop plane and take people on little trips. You want to write a screenplay? Hey, that takes talent. That is not easy to do. God bless you. 27 and 30, they're close to their mom, but distant from me. It's painful. Well, try reaching out to them, Dave. Try making gestures, if you can, small gestures. Maybe sending them a birthday card on their birthday, or, maybe just a quick chat over the phone. Reach out. They are your daughters. Maybe they will reciprocate at some point. Speaking of which, happy birthday to John Kane, my brother-in-law. He turns 72 today. Oh my goodness, everybody's getting old in my life. I need to call him up. Thank you for reminding me. Texulja 47, my doctor says I have a vitamin D deficiency. How important is vitamin D for depression? Well, we just heard from another person, I forgot who, mentioned that their vitamin D was low and they're going to start taking supplements. So yes, low vitamin D can bring about depression. And, oh, here it is, OG. Okay, so, text OG or get each other's phone numbers and text each other. Yes, you both suffer from vitamin D deficiency, and yes, it can definitely lead to depression. So yes, vitamin D deficiency is connected to depression. Make sure you're, in terms of nanograms per milliliter, you have at least 30, between 30 and 50. Anything less than that, you could be depressed. Mine is always low. I can't ever seem to get it up to its normal settings. Jacob Hamilton says, thanks about St. John's wort. Well, have you tried it out? Are you planning on trying it out? That would be nice. Another joke from last week. I broke up with my girlfriend who was a waitress. The reason was she brought nothing to the table. Boy, some of these puns are really bad. No laughs yet. So if you're still here, Mark C., tell the people why it's important for them to join Patreon to contribute to this channel, how you were the first patron, and it's a good thing. It's really interesting. With a couple more patrons, I'll actually be able to pay the people for the videos I'm doing. So here's the website again, patreon.com. Well, we have 20 minutes left. We have 25 people watching, a nice, healthy bunch of you. I will be leaving a little early today to get ready for my bike ride, but we still have at least 25 minutes left, so please ask your questions. I do want to mention I'm coming up with a video on Monday. It's about a title of a book that I wrote before Healing from Depression. And the book is called When Going Through Hell, Don't Stop. And why did I come up with that title? It was actually taken from a phrase that Winston Churchill said during World War II. He said, when going through hell, keep going. Cordwack 32, all these new people coming today. Can't thank you enough for the videos. Thank you. I was wondering, any information on serotonin levels? Recently have weaned down close to completely off Paxil. Congratulations. I feel extremely low. Well, why did you choose to wean off Paxil if the Paxil was helping you feel low after doing that? Why don't you go back up on it, or at least talk to your doctor? So, the theory is that the SSRIs prevent the reuptake of serotonin into the cells, leave more in in the synapses, so transmission goes better, so you feel better. No one really knows why they work, but yeah, if it's working for you or was working for you, maybe you should go back up on it. Talk to your doctor. Text Suj at 47. I had undiagnosed ADD my whole life until last month. Lately, I've been researching its comorbid with depression. What do you think about that? You're absolutely right. Attention deficit disorder is comorbid with depression, which means it often comes at the same time and contributes to depression. Many people, I used to be a tutor, and many people who had ADD that I tutored in high school also were depressed. Well, partially because they couldn't learn like the other kids and their grades were poor. So that was, it wasn't so much the biological connection, it was the behavioral connection. But yes, they normally treat ADD with Adderall or Concerta or stimulants, which are controlled substances, but they help some people. So once again, one man's meat's another man's poison. But yeah, you should get the ADD treated, and you can do things like mindfulness meditation. There are behavioral things you can do. I recommend a book by Edward Hallowell called Driven to Distraction. Oh yes, Claire, I've got your email. I am really sorry I haven't got back to you. I have been so busy. I have a whole list of people whose emails I need to get back to. But Claire, you've got me live. Why don't you write in the question section what you were writing about in the email, and I could probably address your questions live right now. Easier for me to do that than getting to all the emails I've gotten from so many people. But why don't you, if it's too personal, then I'll dig out your email and answer it. But if it's not personal, if other people can hear it, you should share with me what you need some help on. Do you think my levels will go back up after a while? Well, if the Paxil were helping and you went down on it and levels went low and you go back on it, it probably will help. Assuming it was helping before. Was it helping before? And if so, why did you wean off it? Do I prefer movies or books for entertainment? Well, I'm a writer, so I always prefer books, but most people don't read books anymore. They go to movies. It's not that I love movies. I mean, It's a Wonderful Life is my favorite movie of all time. Jimmy Stewart, Groundhog Day with Bill Murray. By the way, I just got turned on to this very funny comedy team named Key and Peele, Jordan Peele, P-E-E-L-E, who directed this movie Get Out. He was also on Comedy Central. Have you ever seen that series? It's hilarious. Nothing like a good bunch of comedy to lift your spirits. I also really love Woody Allen. Of course, we're cut from the same cloth. So I like books and movies, but as a writer, I think you can't beat a book. One Clear One, yeah, I don't understand people saying they're come off medication that's made them feel better. If you had type 2 diabetes, wouldn't stop taking your insulin, your brain is an organ too. Well, Claire Lou, you hit the nail on the head. I couldn't agree with you more. The brain is an organ. And the brain can get, what is addiction? What is depression? Brain disorders. What is diabetes? A pancreas disorder. What is cancer? A cell disorder, multiplication of the cells. What is heart disease? A circulation disorder. So yes, depression is a brain disorder, and now the best thing to treat the brain, in my opinion, is intense exercise. Period. End of quotations. I immediately get a lift when I exercise. But medications can also be helpful. Oh gee, so I've been on antipsychotic medication for a while now. I believe it is preventing me from feeling pleasure. Is that because this medication blocks dopamine? Yeah, that's a very good point. You're a smart guy. Maybe you can, I don't know why you went on the antipsychotics. Usually people do so if they have a thought disorder like schizophrenia, but some people use them when they have too much anxiety. So I'd like to know what you went on them for. That would be very helpful to me. Let me see. Typical says, can I be healing even if I don't feel like it? Well, you can be. I mean, I was getting better. People often notice you're getting better before you do, so you need to be around people who are giving you feedback. Yes, it's possible you're getting better without you're feeling like it. Gordwag32 says, it was, but I was taking it for an anxiety disorder. I've been learning to cope with it, and I just wonder if my levels would go back up naturally without the help of Paxil after discontinuing. Well, that, my friend, is a $64,000 question. Can you raise your levels of brain chemistry naturally? And I think in many cases you can. Go to my website, healingfromdepression.com. Okay. Here is right here. Go to this website and look under brain maintenance in the menu bar, and you'll see a diagram I have with 45 areas of therapeutic self-care you can use to raise your serotonin that are non-medication. So yes, it's possible to do so. Every person is different, so you might want to try it and try some behavioral things and cognitive things and see if they help. David Simpson, haven't ever talked to you. Exercise, nutrition, and focusing on my physical health helped me with my PTSD, depression, and anxiety more than anything. Well, David Simpson, I'm right on the same page as you are. I use exercise as a treating depression, as a preventing depression, both. Get my water here. All right, 25 minutes after the hour. Thank you so much for your time, Cordwag22. It's Cordwag. So Cordwag22, where do you live? Are you from the UK? I'm just curious. If it's too personal, don't tell me, but I'm always curious where people are chatting from. Same with you, David Sim. I know Dave Piquel is in Vancouver, BC. Ogie, I'm not quite sure where you are in terms of geography. Oh, Pearlie Bonnet, we know she's in Texas. Nice to hear from you. And Julie Hayes from Michigan. Is it cold in Michigan, Julie? By the way, every time Julie Hayes comes on, I have to show everybody, if I have it. Here it is. From the Ashes I Rise. Given to me by Julie Hayes, sent to me in appreciation of the work we're all doing. And wow, you know, what about that Phoenix Bird, huh? Living 500 years, dying, being burned to ashes, and then rising up from the ashes. Is that not a metaphor for what all of us have done who have emerged from depressive breakdowns, from psychiatric hospitals, from suicide attempts? Is that not the perfect metaphor, guys? Come on, give me an amen. I'm in Arizona for a while, 70s and sunny. Well, Julie Hayes, you've got some grace. I was going nuts with this Oregon cold, wet climate, although today it's supposed to be up to 60, so a little bit of relief. You'd be better reading email. It's a long story, and sure, I'm suffering from debilitating anxiety. Well, have you tried CBD oil, one Claire Lou? I'll write it right here. I'm sure you've seen the name, but if not, it has provided, wait a minute, yeah, CBD oil. Try that, one Claire Lou, or Claire Lou. Let me see, I don't think I've, OIL, okay. There we are, CBD oil. That can really help. Have you tried exercise? Have you tried deep breathing? Have you tried Klonopin? Hey, you're near Phoenix. Julie Hayes says, wow. So yeah, Claire Lou, debilitating anxiety is horrible. It's really debilitating. It prevents you from going out, enjoying yourself. When I was extremely anxious, I had to cancel my plane flight to see my only nephew's graduation from Oberlin College, so I know it. Julie, one Claire Lou, I think I just, oh, IY, you're back again. Thank you for the $2. IY is a Patreon contributor. Thank you so much. And he knows all about my favorite movie, It's a Wonderful Life, starring James Stewart. You remember that, IY? So, Claire Lou, someone turned me on to a website. Can you go there right now and tell me if I'm giving you the right URL? Hold on here. Whoops, I got to get that right. Anxiety.net. Will you go there, Claire Lou, and let me know if that exists? That's run by some people in Britain. It's got a tremendous amount of good information about anxiety. Check it out. You have good news, Claire Pearlie Bono. What's that? Do you like your new home? Was your depersonalization decreased? You must be feeling better. It's complicated because about the fear of losing my parents, panic attacks. Oh yeah. You know, you're a girl. That's right. Thank you, IY. I remember you told me that when you wrote me. Apologize. So many people get a hold of me. So one Claire Lou, I had a client who was very worried about her parents going, and that was a major source of anxiety. It was so bad she had to get electroconvulsive therapy, ECT. Have you ever thought of that, or TMS? Both of those help with anxiety. They said, I don't have clinical depression. Well, great. How do you feel? Do you feel a little bit better? Feel a little less sad? The best way to know if you have clinical depression is how you feel. So have you thought of doing one Clairlou TMS or ECT? I have videos about both of them, depending on how bad your anxiety is. But you might want to check both of those out if medications are not helping. But yes, there are psychologists in Portland, Oregon, where I live, who specialize in treating anxiety. You may find one of them. I will send you a little handout about using cold water. I'll get that to you sometime today. Pearl Amanda says, all I have is GAD, DP, and anxiety. Well, that's a lot on your plate, just that. But I'm glad you don't have clinical depression. Hey, Army of Radishes. I love that name. And you told me what it was about, and I forgot. Hope you're having a great today. Yesterday I had a big meltdown. I realized I'm a highly sensitive person, and Chris is my trigger. Yeah, well, that's tough when you're an HSP. You know what that is, Elaine Aaron. How can you deal with triggers? Well, you have to somehow learn to develop a thicker skin. And, you know, you need to say that what you think of me is none of my business. You just have to say, you know, that's your opinion. And try to just, you know, affirm yourself, talk to people who love you, who care about you, and just try to, you know, turn your attention away from that negative stuff. Hopefully it won't hurt you as much. Remember, that's just someone's opinion. Hey, a lot of people thought that Abraham Lincoln was a bad, you know, president, all the slaveholders, right? He's one of the greatest presidents we ever had. Look at Martin Luther King Jr., whose birthday we just celebrated. He had a lot of criticism. John Kennedy, so a lot of really cool people. Winston Churchill, I just saw the movie called Darkest Hour about his assuming the prime minister. He had tremendous prime minister, he had tremendous opposition. So a lot of cool people get criticized. So try to tell yourself, you know, you're not alone. Yes, well, Zoloft does help with some anxiety. One Clairlou, also Paxil, even more than Zoloft, has been approved for the treatment of anxiety. You may want to try that. His Grace's Love, my daughter and I have losing our home. I could not keep up with financial payments after having surgery, major depression had. Oh no, His Grace's Love, that's horrible. You know, the #1 cause of bankruptcy in America is medical bills. I don't even know if you're in America, but that's what, in America at least, that's a big problem. Yeah, I hope you can get some sort of amnesty from your bank. Yes, His Grace's Love. My nephew was having problems keeping up with his mortgage, and they went ahead and they renegotiated, refinanced, and put his back payments at the end and lowered the interest rate, or lowered, yeah, so can you negotiate? I agree with you, into F. Maybe you can negotiate with your bank. That would be very good. Well, love to you all. Julie Hayes, thanks again for that wonderful Phoenix bird, and I'm glad you're having some warm weather in Arizona. Well, my depression is gone. One thing less makes me feel better. Well, anything that makes you feel better, Pearly Ganda, is a good thing. Pearly Banda. Hi, Julie. It's so awful. I wonder how I can keep going. Yeah, well, you can. Remember, watch my video tomorrow, One Clairlou. When going through hell, don't stop, right here. So, yeah, just keep on trucking. You know, I love that quote from Isaiah. They that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They shall mount up with wings as eagles. They shall run and not be weary. They shall walk and not faint. Favorite quote from Isaiah. You know, they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. Sometimes in depression and anxiety, you just have to wait it out. But it's really hard. What's the name of the author? Driven to Distraction, Edward Hallowell. Hallowell. Hawaii. Wow, another donation. Wow, you are feeling, thank you, more generosity. You guys should imitate Hawaii. He's a very generous soul, and thank you, and I'm glad we've had a chance to help you out. Is it by John Rady? John Rady's very famous for something, but my name is basically the movie Army of Darkness title, but with radishes. I've never seen the movie Army of Darkness. What's it about? His Grace's Love, I believe everything will be better in December. I lost my, hold on, I believe everything will be better. On December 1st, I lost my home with my kids, 4 kids. I had a medical bill for $44,000 and had no food, I had no home, depressed, DP, GAD, and now I'm much better. Now I'm much better. So, yeah, Pearl Ivana makes a very good point. You know, you never know what the next day will bring. I went in 2 years ago. We're coming to the anniversary now. On January 30th, 2 days is the anniversary of my getting out of the psychiatric hospital at St. Vincent's, where I'd gone to get ECT. Going to the hospital, I was at the end of my rope, suicidal, had been depressed for a year and a half. It didn't seem like anything was possible, and yet getting that treatment and coming out of the hospital and going into a program, an outpatient program, suddenly I started to feel better. And so far, that depression has not returned. So you never know when things can turn around. Pearly Bonda says, I will be praying for you. I'm here if you need to talk to someone. That's very nice. Yes, Peter Lund, that is the name of the man who wrote Driven to Distraction, a classic book on attention deficit disorder. How do you donate, Jacob Hamilton? Well, I don't know. There's two ways you can donate. The way I prefer is you go to this website, patreon.com, type in my name, and go to my Patreon page, and you can donate as low as $2 a month. If you wanted to make a one-time donation, happy anniversary, Sister Renable. Nice to see you again. If you want to make a one-time donation, Jacob Hamilton, depending on what device you're on, over here, the very bottom of the chat screen, down at the very bottom, there's a $sign. It's called Super Chat. When you click on it, it asks you how much money you want to give. IY gave $2 and then $5. So, but some people told me on phones and tablets they can't find that. Otherwise, if you want to make a one-time donation, yes, I did get your email. Again, my apologies, Glenn Claire Lou. If you want to make a one-time donation, you can simply, if you have PayPal, my PayPal address is douglas@gmail.com, right there. So you can send me an email. You can use PayPal to pay me. You can click on the Super Chat, or better yet, you can go to patreon.com and find me and become a regular sustaining member of this channel. So 3 different ways. Anyways, appreciated. Pearly Bonus says, God is good. Look for help with others. Lots of places that will help. Perfect, says Peter Lund. Well, let me know which way you're going to do it. Or maybe that was somebody else who was donating. Yes, well, anyway. Oh, that was Jacob Hamilton. Well, anyway, yes, Peter Lund, you got the book, Driven to Distraction. Buy it, get it out of the library. It's a good book on ADD. Jose Vaca, you know, we were supposed to do coaching together, but somehow we dropped the ball here. Swim had ECT and consumed marijuana. What do you think about it? I'm really not quite sure what you're saying. What does swim had ECT mean? You mean you had marijuana which caused you to get ECT? Maybe you want to rewrite that in a way that's a little bit more easy for me to figure out. So, I asked for help. Don't be scared. There's lots of places to help. I'm in a new home. My kids clean with close food. Remember, this too shall pass. Yes, I got to get my my thing stuck on there. After a while, you start to my cough starts to come back. So, thank you for that break. Someone who I know, yes, had ECT and consumed marijuana. I'm not quite sure. ECT helps with depression. Consuming marijuana can help or hinder. I'm sure, was it that order? I'm not quite sure if they did both at the same time. So, Jose Vaca, you might want to give me some more details. And by the way, you are right, Pearly Bonda, this too shall pass. I have a video called 4 Words That Can Save Your Life. And that's exactly what they are. Jacob Hamilton, you found it. You found the super chat. Thanks, my friend. Appreciate your help. Another joke perhaps? Let me go look in my joke book here. Yeah, why was the scarecrow a good neurosurgeon? It's not because he didn't have a brain. The scarecrow was a good neurosurgeon because he was outstanding in his field. Not too bad. All right, Pearly Bonda, $1 from you. Thank you. All you're being very generous. Pearly Bonda makes a very good point. In December, she lost her house, her kids. Horrible. Now it's the end of January. 2 months later, she's got her home. Her kids are back with her, and she's not even depressed anymore. So never give up. Never give up, never give up. That's what the Dalai Lama said. That's what I say. There's a famous author named Robert Schuller who had a book called Tough Times Never Last, but Tough People Do. They that wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They shall walk and not be weary. They shall run and not faint. Yes, people get better all the time, but sometimes you have to wait. Sometimes you have to wait. Not a lot of fun. Oh, you don't have a lot, but that's $1 from my heart. Well, you know what my mother used to say, it's the thought that counts. So just the fact you're reaching out and the fact you're feeling better. I'm much happier about the fact you're feeling better than you gave $1. But, you know, cast thy bread upon the waters. You know, I gave $8 to a homeless person because they needed a place to stay that night and they were $8 short. Last night I went out to dinner with a good friend and the waitress forgot our order and was so apologetic that she brought the order. It was an $8 bowl of soup and she gave it for free. I gave away $8 on Wednesday. On Saturday I got a free bowl of soup. What do you think of that? So it's good to give. It's good to give. It eventually does come back to you. And F, do you think that a lot of mainstream population think they're depressed? They're just unhappy? Well, I remember having conversations with such people and they didn't get despairing. Well, yes, there's a difference between unhappiness and depression, and the F. But depression is an illness. It's a brain disease, and if you go to my website, you can take a depressive test under what is depression. Simply go to healingfromdepression.com, and you have to have 5 of 9 symptoms, like difficulty sleeping, like loss of appetite, like psychomotor agitation and retardation, like suicidal thoughts, like feelings of worthlessness, like fatigue, like no pleasure, inability to experience pleasure, sadness most of the time. This is more than just, you know, unhappiness. So, you know, there's a fine line between the two, but depression is definitely different than unhappiness. Unhappy people don't have suicidal thoughts. So, yeah, they might think they're depressed when they're unhappy. I agree with you, but to be depressed, you have to meet a certain criterion, and that's the way to know. His Grace is Love. Perla, could you give me your email if you're comfortable? I'm so thankful for your words. Perla, could you do that? Or could you at least give him your phone number? Otherwise, His Grace is Love, if you email me, I could probably give it out. Never give up on yourself, even if the whole world is giving up on you, because you can show the world that all you need is yourself and God to get better. Well, Perla is saying words of encouragement, so why don't you give His Grace is Love your email address, or give me permission to do so. His Grace is Love, if you want to email me, my email address is douglasbloch@gmail.com, right there. But Perla Bonnet, it would be better right now if you gave His Grace is Love your email address right now on this live chat. That's what we're about. We're about creating community here. And I love it when people help each other. Yeah, people seem depressed because it's trending or cool. Well, you know, all the people I see who are depressed who come to my support groups and the F are really depressed. Yeah, they're not faking it. God plus one is a majority. I kind of like that. Douglas Barnes, I still owe you some. You never got the ebooks you ordered from me, did you? Let me know. I still need to get them out to you. Wow. His Grace is Love. Look at that. Perla Ibanda1988@gmail.com. That's probably the year you were born. And 1-918-282-5420. That's probably in Texas. I'm glad to help. Danielle helps me when I need it. So yeah, Perla Ibanda and Danielle Kate are already connected. Shimi Kanali, I'm not quite sure. Cinnamon, I don't even bother to pronounce it. Hey Douglas, thank you for your videos. I just wanted to ask you if a person from dysthymia can recover completely. Well, what do you mean by recover completely? Eventually, you can find joy, you can find happiness, you can find a reason to be alive, you can find, as my friend said, something to do, someone to love, and something to look forward to. I'll repeat that again. Something to do, someone to love, and something to look forward to. So in that case, yes, it can be treated. No, I don't think you can recover completely. If you have a melancholic temperament, that's what you got. But you don't need to recover completely. You just need to have, on a 1 to 10 scale, where 10 is ecstasy and 1 is suicidal depression, you just need to be at a 6. You need to have some pleasure or moments of pleasure. or moments of joy. So, you know, look, life is suffering, said the Buddha, right? Life is difficult, said M. Scott Peck. You know, life's a bitch and then you die, people say. So being on the earth world, on the earth plane is not easy. So everybody's going to have pain and suffering. It comes with the territory, but you can still have joy. Your life can still be worth living. So yes, I don't know if you can completely get rid of melancholic symptoms, but you can have enough joy, enough positivity in your life to override it. You did get them, Douglas Barnes? I wonder how they came. I don't remember sending them. Huh. His Grace's Love, I'm a woman, Pearl. Well, there you have it. You never know from these, you never really know from these YouTube avatar names what the person's, orientation is. But yes, well, you guys should chat on the phone. That would be wonderful. I can believe you. Anybody going to a depression group is not faking it. Of course, they wouldn't pay me money just to fake it. Thank you for the answer. Yeah. Well, do you have dysthymia? Are you having some joy in your life? I hope so. Mustafa UV, I assume you're from the Middle East, and so is something Kanali. Hello, please, how to overcome solipsism syndrome, feeling that you are afraid the only one real and everything in this world is fake and existing only in your brain. Wow. Yeah, that's a delusion. How do you get over that? That's really interesting. I don't have the answer to that. You may talk about it with your therapist. Go to a really good therapist. I can assure you that's not the case, by the way, but you may want to hug somebody, have some physical touch, get a massage, get into your body. Maybe that would help. Do some intense exercise, get a massage, find someone to hug. Maybe that will get you, out of this illusion in your head into your body. Maybe that will help. I'm Mexican, so if my spelling is not good, I am sorry. Well, of course. I knew English was your second language. No problem. For being second language, you speak pretty darn well. Oh, you downloaded them. Did the Douglas Barnes? Did they tell you to download them and did they give you a link? Let me know. I really need to know that. Why don't you call me? Send me an email about that, because I was thinking that. I feel bad that I haven't sent out these books yet, but if they give you a link to download them, I don't need to. So please let me know. His Grace's Love, thank you so much, Perla. You've given me hope today. Well, His Grace's Love, do you have Perla's email address? She gave it to you, perlybond1998, gmail.com. She also gave you her number in Texas, so please call. Mustafa, that sounds a lot like depersonalization. That's what I thought, Pearly Bond, the thing that everybody's unreal, but only you. That could be depersonalization. It could be a form of depression. You should definitely go to a psychiatrist and get that treated. Simonin Kanali, a friend of mine is having dysthymia. Unfortunately, I'm trying to help as much as I can. He's suffering a lot lately. I just want to see him happy. Well, that's wonderful. Just tell him you care about him, you're there for him, and encourage him to go into treatment. Encourage him to find a good therapist or a good psychiatrist. That's the best thing you can do to a friend. You've helped me so much, Douglas. Well, thank you so much. In terms of the videos, you're on Chrome and Windows 10. So Douglas Barnes, so when you paid your $2.99, did it say click here to download? Just want to know. Hey, Linda Stokes. Well, you've got about 8 minutes left, but you're here. So ask a question if you can. 48 minutes and 53 seconds gone. I'm going to wrap it up about 5 minutes early today to get ready for my bike ride. And hold on for a second. Oh, my computer's down to 23%. Well, it can hold out. Yeah, I have a voice box plugged in here. It takes a lot of energy. So if it goes down below 10%, I'm going to, well, I might even plug I might even plug it in right now as soon as I answer the next question. Mustafa UB, this happens because of stress and anxiety from the hard study, and my life is engaged from the girl I love. I don't think I have depression. And my life is good, and I'm engaged from the girl I love. So stress and anxiety might be causing that. Yeah, I don't really know. The solipsism thing, you may want to, again, talk to, you right-click and open a new tab, then download it. All right. Thank you. Chocolate Factory Hunter. Maybe it's the girl, Mustafa. You came on at the last second. Thank you for putting so much effort in this channel. Your videos are so helpful. Well, you know what? great. If you want to help this channel grow, I'll give you one more time the Patreon address. Last time we had 3 people who went to my Patreon and went ahead and gave some money. So maybe you can do so too. I don't think I do because I don't have the symptoms of it. Well, then definitely talk to somebody about the solipsism thing. By the way, if you really want to know what my Patreon page is, you just do patreon.com/DOUGLASBLOCH. Whoops. That's the Patreon address. Share that link with other people. Okay, Pearly Bonda sounds like depersonalization. Maybe you should call her. She gave you her number, and that might be helpful. You feel like a zombie. You feel like you're the only one in the world. Going through DP is bad for you, but not what got outside and say nothing. Okay, I'm not quite sure what that means. Can hurt me. I'm going to be okay. You can't hurt me. Not quite sure what that meant, but I just got notified. Wow, I'm sorry that was so late. Well, you got 6 minutes. You know, what can I tell you? It's nice to see you. Thank you again for becoming a patron. Really appreciate it. So much so. Any more questions? So again, look for my video tomorrow, Wednesday. Monday it says the title is One Reason You Should Never Give Up. And it is about when going through hell, don't stop, and how if you just wait long enough and you move forward and reach out for support, things can shift. Look at Pearl Ibana. What a success story that is, from despair to rebirth. And that's why I love what Julie Hayes sent me, this Phoenix bird. It really is all about, recovering. Hi, what is your opinion on Cymbalta? I have a woman in my group who normally comes named April who's on it, 90 milligrams. She says it's helpful. It's like every other antidepressant. It helps some, it doesn't help others. You just have to, it's all about trial and error. So, what can I say? You just have to try this stuff out and start slow and go start low and go slowly up. And the F says, depersonalization is a constant. You would know if you had it. Imagine watching a widescreen movie and being constantly distracted by the widescreen border. You can fully engage in anything. Not quite sure what that means, but Perlabana says, go outside and say, nothing can hurt me. I'm going to be okay. Keep saying it to yourself. I'm going to be okay. I'm going to be okay. Good advice, Pearly Bonda. Anyway, so the person who suffers from solipsism, I would go to a psychotherapist and talk about it with them. I don't understand why a person would think that the only person in the world and everybody out there is their imagination, but solipsism does exist. People have felt that way. And I'm sure, why don't you go look on the internet and say, what is the cure for solipsism? See what other people have said. The internet's an amazing resource of people who've gone through similar experiences. No, Pearl, I don't have the symptoms. I've just had OCD once about this idea. What about if the world is a fake? Sounds like Donald Trump, fake news. If you have fake news, you can have a fake life or a fake world, right? What do you know? Olga Schmidt, you're coming in the last 3 minutes. What helps with health anxiety? I have GAD and agoraphobia. Well, you got to keep telling yourself that I'm okay. Why don't you repeat this affirmation every day? Oh, hell, I'm well. My godson's wife has health anxiety. It can be really, really difficult. But it's like any anxiety disorder. Affirm to yourself you're okay. Get into paced breathing. Do exercise. That will distract you. So treat it like any other anxiety disorder. And again, go see a professional, go see a therapist, and go see a psychiatrist, especially somebody who has dealt with health anxiety. Perlabana says, for when you go outside and everything looks so small and the sky is almost on top of you, I know what DP feels like. Olga Schmidt says, thank you. Well, you're more than welcome. Yeah, health anxiety is tough. You think that, like, this one person came to me and was convinced she had cancer. Well, no sign of it, not even in her family, but she just couldn't get it out of her mind. It's kind of like OCD. Olga Schmidt, you might want to try a medication that helps with OCD. And health anxiety is very, very obsessive. Go try a medication called Luvox, L-U-V-O-X. It's helped a number of my group members who have obsessive, intrusive thoughts they can't get rid of. Talk to your doctor about it. You know, better living through chemistry. B-complex helps a little with my anxiety. Yes, there's something called GABA. If you're still on the line, one Claire, there's a supplement called GABA Calm. You may want to look up on the internet. It's helped take the edge off anxiety for some of my patients, clients. All right, well, we're into 55:30. I'm going to end about 4 minutes early because I don't want to be late for my bike ride. We have had a good time chatting. I'm glad you've asked your questions. I'm glad I was ashwagandha. Well, Olga Schmidt, ashwagandha is a psychoactive. No, it's not psychoactive. It's a. I think it's a. What is ashwagandha? Maybe it is a psychoactive drug. I thought it was a like rhodiola, an adaptogen. What about the prayer mind? Of course, 800-669-7729. Thank you, Douglas Barnes. Thank you, IY, for your generosity. I hope to see you on Wednesday. Look for my video tomorrow called One Reason You Should Never Give Up. It's coming at 7 a.m. Monday morning Pacific time. Ashwagandha, I can't remember if that's a psychoactive herb or it's just an adaptogen. I'll look it up as soon as I get off here. It's an herb. I know it's an herb, but what does it do? Is it like marijuana, which is an herb? Does it affect your brain, or is it something that just helps your immune system? Oh, maybe I'll look it up right now before we head out. No, I don't even know where my phone is. Well, so much for that idea. Well, again, never give up, never give up, never give up. Again, Ayurvedic herb like rhodiola. Okay, well then ashwagandha it's an adaptogen. I was absolutely right. And rhodiola is very good for depression, by the way. You know, certain herbs, you should test them out. I know that rhodiola has been proven to help depression with some people, but not others. You've got to do trial and error. So remember the video what I'm going to be talking about on Monday. When going through the Hell Don't Stop, you can rise from the ashes. Never ever says, I've lost my interest in everything. That's a symptom of clinical depression. I'm sorry to hear that. Anything? What about going out? I told one of my my group members, go out and get a hot fudge sundae. You'll find pleasure in that. You know, ice cream definitely stimulates the dopamine receptors. Musta UV, I'm a medical student. I know about drugs and side effects. So I don't want to take medication. Thank you, Douglas, for your videos. Well, medication does have its place. I'm back. Who wrote the book at Phoenix, I Rise from the Ashes? Oh no, it's not a book. It's simply, it's a picture that Julie Hayes sent me. From the Ashes, I Rise. There's no book, but if you read my book, When Going Through Hell Don't Stop, it's all about my resurrection. Again, anytime you read a story about someone who's come back from an ordeal, whether it's a health ordeal or being in prison of war or depression, that's the Phoenix experience. So there are many, many people who've written books about recovery, inspirational books. So there's no such thing as a book called I Rise from the Ashes, but that's what the Phoenix did, and that's why it's an amazing metaphor. Mark Calloway, nice to see you at the end. Thanks, you guys. I didn't say much, but I learned from all you, Douglas. Thanks for all you do. What does Mark C. say? Thanks. Buy Douglas's book, Healing from Depression. Well, it's nice to have somebody in the... I like that, feeling from depression. Well, healing is, hey, hello, I'm Greg. I'm sorry I missed the chat. At work, please email me to join the support group. That's right, Greg has an online support group. Email him. There's already 6 or 7 members in it. I have your books. Thanks, Doug. Thanks again, Douglas. Healing from depression, not feeling from depression. Very nice. Well, we're coming up exactly 1 hour, so my time is done. I'm going to go regenerate myself, maybe have some yogurt and fruit, get ready for my ride. It's 59, only 1 more degree to 60 degrees in Portland. Doug, I'm still waiting for my book. That will be $11. But that's not from me, is it? You didn't order that book from me. Didn't you order from Amazon? Oh, the book When Going Through Hell Don't Stop? Yeah, I don't have it in Spanish. I thought I did. Do you want me to send you the English version, or I could just refund your $11? I thought I had extra copies. But didn't I send you a link to where you can get it in Spanish from a publisher? How far am I going to cycle? About 22 miles. Kelly pointed back, probably. So Pearlie Ibanda, send me an email and I will send you the site where you can get the book in Spanish, and then I will refund your money. But I don't have any more copies of When Going Through Hell in Spanish. I thought I did. I only have one. That's my own. So let me know if that's what you're talking about. Send me an email. Let me know if that's the book you're waiting for, the one in Spanish, and I'll get back in touch with you. Right. So it's over 1 hour. I'm glad we all chatted. And again, tune in on Monday for my new video on When Going Through Hell Don't Stop. And come again on Wednesday, exactly 4 days from now. We'll see you again, 12 noon Pacific Standard Time, 8 o'clock UK time, 2 o'clock Texas time, 3 o'clock East Coast time, and 1 o'clock Phoenix time. And the scissors, there we have it. Well, I'm glad you came at the last second. Nice to see you.